Tonight, a woman is charged after 3 men were killed near Turtleford. The ag minister is demanding proof from an allegation made by the NDP. And shovels are in the ground for Regina's next fire station.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. Saskatchewan's Agriculture Minister Daryl Harrison has asked the NDP to substantiate allegations that foreigners are illegally purchasing provincial farmland. The NDP say the government has looked the other way and has failed to enforce the law. Daryl Harrison has now given the NDP until Monday to prove it. Wayne Mantika has the details.
The NDP is concerned that not enough is being done to detect foreign purchase of Saskatchewan farmland.
We've been calling on that government from the moment they've been elected, and they look the other way and have failed to enforce the law.
The allegation has angered the Agriculture Minister, who has sent a letter to the opposition saying, "I ask that you provide any evidence, documentation, and/or information regarding the serious allegations you have made directly to the Farmland Security Board no later than November 10th at 5 p.m.
And I would say that if the critic, Mr. Speaker, the opposition critic, has an example of where he, in his words, says that the government of China, the People's Republic of China, or Chinese citizens are owning farmland in Saskatchewan, that he report that immediately.
In a recent report, the provincial auditor found 5 cases since 2020 where orders were issued to sell farmland inappropriately purchased. 8 cases were unresolved, and the auditor expressed concern that the government does not have escalation procedures to take further action.
But we need integrity of that system and to make sure that we're enforcing our laws and protecting against illegal foreign acquisition.
The NDP say it based its allegations on cases raised by producers and that all were advised to contact the Farmland Security Board. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
The Saskatchewan government is expanding strep throat testing to more communities. 11 more pharmacies across the province will now be able to test for strep. That brings the total to 22 locations. At these pharmacies, trained pharmacists can assess symptoms, perform a rapid strep test, and prescribe medication if needed.
There's some communities where the pharmacy is the main access point for healthcare. So I think specifically in those communities, this is a great opportunity to really expand what can be done in a pharmacy from a primary care sense so that people can stay closer to home, people have quicker access.
Health officials say expanding access can help catch strep early, preventing spread and reducing the risk of serious complications. A list of pharmacies offering the assessments can be found through the Saskatchewan College of Pharmacy Professionals. The Regina Exhibition Association will not be seeking a new full-time CEO, at least in the near future.
And that stability is important for Real right now, which is why we're actually not going out to a search anytime soon. We're going to let Trent, put his feet on the ground there and provide some stability.
Board Chair Jamie Bolt says Trent Fraser will assume the CEO duties on an interim basis with a bit of an extended run expected. Rick Bennett resigned yesterday for personal and family reasons. He was just 5 months into the job. The board chair says the move will not impact upcoming events or attracting new ones. Fraser will start in an interim capacity on Monday. RCMP is speaking out tonight over a cluster of homicides in our province. 6 deaths in 4 different areas of the province, and that includes 3 near the Turtleford area, where 1 woman has been charged. Stacey Hine has the details.
RCMP say 6 people have been killed in 4 communities across the province in the past week. Grandmother's Bay, Turtleford, Snowden, and Whitewood. Charges have been laid in each case.
Our role as police is to investigate all suspicious deaths throughout the province with the ultimate goal of charging the person or persons responsible.
Officers first responded to a homicide in Grandmother's Bay on Tuesday. 26-year-old Keelan McLeod has been charged in the death of 18-year-old Melissa Charles. The next day, Friday, officers were called to a triple homicide on a rural property northwest of Turtleford. RCMP say 3 men were seriously injured. Officers tried to save them, but all 3 died of their injuries. 25-year-old Madison Patty Jimmy is facing 1 count of second-degree murder. There is no word on whether Patty Jimmy will face any additional charges. 28-year-old Tonio Cantel from Island Lake First Nation has been identified as one of the victims. RCMP is not releasing the names of the other 2 men. We do know one is a 46-year-old man from Turtleford.
If charges are laid in relation to them, then their names will be made public at that point.
Later that day, Nipawin RCMP were called for a wellness check at a home in Snowdon. Officers found 69-year-old Diane Searcy dead. Her husband, 68-year-old Kevin Searcy, has been charged with second-degree murder. On Thursday afternoon, RCMP were called to a home in Whitewood for reports of an injured man. He was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. A boy who cannot be identified under a publication ban has been charged with first-degree murder. Police say they can't release many details while the investigations are ongoing, acknowledging the recent string of homicides is putting a strain on officers.
It takes a toll on our teams across the province, especially when these clusters happen.
Madison Patty Jimmy will appear in court in Lloydminster next week, while Kevin Searcy will appear in court in Nipawin on December 10th. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
With the population in Regina increasing, especially in the Greens neighborhood, a new fire hall is being built in that east side area. Damian Smith was there today and has more.
Shovels digging into the ground, marking the start of a fire station in one of Regina's fastest growing neighborhoods, the Greens. Due to the area's population growth, it's due for a station capable of quick response.
So the travel times from that station to here are quite significant now. So we know fires will start small, but if we don't intervene, they grow quite large.
Fire station number 8 will be situated at the corner of Chuka Boulevard and Primrose Green Drive, a 7-minute drive away from fire station number 5.
We like to keep our response times in and around that 6 minutes or 7-minute range.
The goal is creating better coverage in emergency situations when minutes can matter most.
This area too, we see little hot spots for incidents, so we are seeing some frequency of calls out here. A main concern for us is really the amount of time it takes and the geographic side of it.
Discussions began for the new station as part of the Fire Master Plan back in 2021. Along with the Greens, the station will also cover other eastern areas of the city like the Creeks and Aurora, the area surrounding Costco. It's also right across from a school, making potential field trips an easy option.
I'm sure our firefighters are very excited to have tour after tour coming by to visit, and I think the school is as well.
We're in the schools all the time. The firefighters are in the schools teaching fire and life safety.
Station 8 will be Regina's first new fire hall since 2010. The hall is expected to open in 2027 with construction beginning in full force next month. Damian Smith, CTV News, Regina.
Sabine joins us for our first look at weather. Sabine saw a couple parkas in that story we just saw. I admit I've been avoiding just kind of a warmer jacket I've been putting. So far, it's been okay.
Yeah, you and me both. I'm avoiding pulling out the heavier parkas, though tomorrow could be a different story. If you are heading out to Mosaic Stadium, you may want to layer up. But today was a perfect example of what we're going to start to see, that change in temperatures. Didn't really see any above zero temperatures for daytime highs. Now, on the radar satellite, for most of the day, it's been calm, no activity, but we are starting to see more of that snow enter into Saskatchewan, this time focused more in southern Saskatchewan. Saskatoon and parts of the Parkland saw the snow yesterday. Now, Swift Current, Moose Jaw, Regina, Estevan could all expect to see the snow arriving, well, already now in parts of southwest Saskatchewan, and that will continue into the overnight. Temperatures also continuing to be a little cooler. The southwest still above zero tonight. The average daytime high is about 2-3 degrees. We did not get up there, and we're not going to get up there tomorrow either, but I'll have the details in your forecast. Lee?
All right, thank you, Sabine. It hasn't been bad so far in southern Saskatchewan, but significant snowfall earlier this week has led to slippery driving conditions in Prince Albert and surrounding area. Jasmine Pelche has details.
Prince Prince Albert's first major snowfall is keeping paramedics busy, responding to more vehicle collisions and falls.
Lots of people where the road conditions have been icy, they've slipped off their highways. In the city, we've seen a number of slip and fall incidents as well.
Parkland Ambulance says crews responded to 6 crashes during the Thursday day shift.
And in terms of slip and fall incidents, I think there was probably about 3 or 4 of those incidents as well, which is when you put that into the day's activities, it kind of just adds another layer to our response times.
Environment Canada says that with these weather conditions, icy roads are to be expected.
We saw some fairly mild temperatures before this snowfall event, so often a lot of that snow melted on contact and then refroze. So it's made for some slippery driving conditions.
Sanding trucks hit the streets following the snowfall. The city advises people to report any snow-related concerns online. And while Prince Albert is experiencing winter road conditions, Environment Canada says these conditions aren't here to stay, at least not yet.
So by the time we get to the end of November, early December, when this cold air comes in, oftentimes it stays for an extended period of time. We're not seeing that yet at this point.
Jasmine Pelche, CTV News, Prince Albert.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa, the Saskatchewan Jamaican Association of Regina is asking for the city to come together and lend their support to Jamaicans that were impacted by the disaster. Jacob Carr has more.
The devastating effects of Hurricane Melissa, which ravaged southwestern Jamaica last week, are being felt as far as the Queen City.
People are hungry. There's 3 hospitals that is destroyed in the western part of the islands. People have nowhere to live. Children, have nothing to eat, and it's just devastating.
Mike Thomas's parents are situated in Jamaica, and his mother, Lucille, is also one of the founders of the Saskatchewan Jamaican Association of Regina. He says he has never seen something as severe as Hurricane Melissa in his lifetime.
I was very young when the last major hurricane hit Jamaica in 1988 with Hurricane Gilbert, and at that time it was quite the scene there. So to see the current state of what the island used to look like and then what it currently does is unbelievable that was done by a hurricane.
The association is looking for Reginans to band together to lend a helping hand to those in need in Jamaica.
You can still see that there's a large part of that island that is still without power, still without potable water, and still without the ability to communicate with loved ones wherever they may be in the world. So, every little bit counts.
Aside from monetary donations, they are looking for things like non-perishable food items, lightly used clothing, and toiletries. The association says the donations will be pooled and sent to a reputable organization in Jamaica.
We know that we are a resilient people and we're strong, but without your help, we won't be able to accomplish what we want to accomplish for the Jamaican people.
As part of the association's fundraising efforts, they will be hosting a lunch on November 14th at the Shiloh Assembly Apostolic Church. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
The First Nations University of Canada held a ceremony for Indigenous veterans today. The morning began with a pipe ceremony followed by a service to remember and honor the sacrifice of Indigenous veterans. Community members and dignitaries gave speeches and shared stories, then laid wreaths to commemorate those who have served the country.
I'm doing this to honor my grandfather and honor the other Native veterans that didn't come home and the ones that came home but they're broken, and I just find it an honor that I still get to be here and come participate in ceremonies, land entries and stuff.
Tomorrow, November 8th, is National Indigenous Veterans Day. And the University of Regina did host a special public lecture last night exploring how Indigenous artists capture connections to the land through visual storytelling. The event at the College Avenue campus featured keynote speaker Carmen Robertson. She was speaking on the topic, Picturing Land, Indigenous Aesthetics on the Flatland. Robertson encouraged attendees to open their eyes to different perspectives and appreciate the ongoing evolution of Indigenous arts in the province.
If nothing else, we have a very rich Indigenous art history here, and it's important that everyone understands what's come before and what's continuing now. My goal tonight is to ensure that people open their eyes to different ways of looking at Indigenous art, to understanding it.
The lecture offered a fresh perspective showing how Indigenous art continues to tell powerful stories of land, culture, and identity right here in Saskatchewan. And nominations are now open for the Regina Citizen of the Year presented by CTV. Now, the Citizen of the Year award given each year to an individual who exemplifies excellence in community service and is making a difference. To find out how to nominate that special someone, you can go to our website. The deadline to submit your nomination is Friday, December 5th, and we will announce this year's recipient on December the 31st. Still ahead, the Liberal government survives a second confidence test in Ottawa. Plus, the cull is complete on an ostrich farm in BC.
We will never forget your bravery, your strength, your sacrifice.
The very best and bravest of our nation. These heroic souls stood on guard for freedom.
Join the CTV News team and me as Canada comes together to remember.
Remembrance Day 2025, Tuesday morning at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on CTV.
The Liberal government is still standing after facing yet another test on Parliament Hill. Prime Minister Mark Carney's caucus survived a second confidence vote in as many days, just as Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre faced more questions over a second MP announcing plans to leave the party. Rachel Aiello has the latest developments from Ottawa.
MP Matt Genereux says he likely won't be leaving until the spring. But if the opposition are counting on the outgoing Albertans' vote, it's worth noting he didn't cast one in either last night's or today's confidence tests.
How many seats do you need to have a majority?
I can't remember.
Do you want to answer?
Maybe a couple. So call your local MP if they're not a Liberal and tell them.
Prime Minister Mark Carney joking about gaining more MPs after Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre lost a second in as many days. Multiple sources say Matt Genereux was in talks with senior Liberal staffers about crossing the floor this week. But Conservative Party officials made it clear there would be consequences if he did. Genereux pushing back, posting a second statement, insisting there was no coercion involved in his decision to resign. The party now saying his announcement was expedited by Liberal pressure tactics.
The only rumors I've heard of intimidation and harassment are from Liberals badgering Conservatives in elevators and calling them at home.
The drama driving chatter among MPs ahead of a second confidence vote in the Commons today.
Matt's been a wonderful colleague, and I wish him all the best.
I think there's some soul-searching going on.
Monsieur McKinnon gets no. The government survived the Bloc Québécois attempt to reject the budget. And now Liberals will spend the next week selling their spending plans before the key final vote on November 17th.
I sure hope that the opposition parties see how much is in that budget for their own regions.
The Liberals got one seat closer this week with MP Chris D'Entremont crossing the floor, but are still a few votes shy of a majority government. And with the Conservatives and Bloc making their opposition to the budget clear, the focus will be on how the NDP vote or don't the week after next. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
The cull at Universal Ostrich Farms in British Columbia is complete, with about 300 birds dead last night in an operation that stretched several hours. That confirmation coming from the BC RCMP and the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. This is some video from last night at the farm. The cull was at the center of an emotional protest and a high-profile court battle that went all the way to the Supreme Court of Canada, which refused to hear the case. The CFIA says that after consulting experts experiencing managing ostrich disease outbreaks, it concluded the most appropriate and humane option was to use professional marksmen. The farm is still quarantined under the Health of Animals Act. The BC RCMP spoke about the operation. The Canadian economy is showing some surprising signs of life, adding more than 66,000 jobs in October. According to Stats Can, this month's impressive job numbers follow September gains of a little more than 60,000 jobs. All of the new jobs were part-time positions where employment rose by 85,000 people. The unemployment rate fell to 6.9% last month, with the youth unemployment rate dropping for the first time since February. The cost of living crisis continues to take a toll. A new Nano survey from CTV found 22% of Canadians skipped at least one bill this year to buy groceries, with younger adults hit hardest and Atlantic Canada feeling more strain. CTV's Maria Serra talked to shoppers in PEI.
The doors swish open at this Charlottetown store. Carts rattle out and islanders load groceries into their cars. But some say putting food on the table comes with trade-offs.
It's getting harder all the time.
I usually try to aim for as many sales as I can.
The more it's getting higher, it's affecting our daily bills. My car insurance, the fuel, my phone bill, my rent, the groceries, and all that stuff.
New Nanos research for CTV News found 1 in 5 Canadians have skipped paying bills to buy groceries in the past year, and those under 55 were 4 times more likely to do so. Inflation and high housing costs are major factors contributing to the generational divide, says Chief Data Scientist Nick Nanos.
What's clear is that there's a significant proportion of Canadians that are facing those really tough choices. It's quite striking. I think in any other world, this would be considered an epidemic.
13% said they skipped bills sometimes or often, but a regional breakdown shows that number is highest in the Atlantic provinces at 24.2%. The data aligns with other research, says Joshua Smee with Food First NL.
All 4 provinces have upwards of 25% of people being food insecure. Our unemployment rate has generally been higher than the rest of the country. There are more people struggling economically.
He adds that means a higher number of people relying on social assistance or income supports. Shoppers here tell me what would really help is lower prices at grocery stores. But for now, many will keep making compromises. Maria Sru, CTV News, Charlottetown.
One of Montana's main travel destinations is reaching out to Canadians, offering deals, discounts, and specials in a bid to lure them back for a visit. The tourism organization for the city of Kalispell in northwest Manitoba, or Montana, has unveiled its Canadian Welcome Pass. It's near the Canada-U.S. border, about 5 hours south of Calgary. The Welcome Pass includes a mix of deals on lodging, retail, dining, and museums. Data from Statistics Canada shows travel to the U.S. by Canadians was down more than 25% in August. And Denmark is set to ban the use of social media for children under 15 years old in a move to better protect minors online.
We're regulating based on some objective criteria, but what we're trying to make sure is that tech platforms that creates most harm is the ones that is kept away from the children. It goes down.
Despite the incoming ban, parents will be allowed to let kids as young as 13 access certain social media platforms. Children in a Nordic country reportedly spend 2 hours and 40 minutes a day on social media. The most popular platforms include Snapchat, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And the move follows similar social media restrictions on youngsters in countries like Australia. Still ahead, a new way to track great white sharks in Atlantic Canada.
Honoring those who made the ultimate sacrifice. Monday on Your Morning, we are across the province teeing up Remembrance Day ceremonies in a community near you.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at what you can expect for the forecast in the Queen City and southern Saskatchewan. Starting tonight, some areas may already be seeing some light snowfall making its way through Regina. We did start to see that system making its way into southwest Saskatchewan. It's going to continue throughout the night into the early overnight, and then we'll start to see it calm, leaving us certainly with some snow on the ground. Currently sitting at -2. We warmed up to about -1 late this afternoon with a wind chill of about -8. The wind chill still at -8, winds at just 20 kilometers an hour. So this is a system over the radar satellite that we have been seeing. There is some mixed precipitation in there. Now that system over the last couple of hours slowly making its way into the Regina area. And this is what we are dealing with heading into tonight and into the overnight. Now, I've been staring at this model for a lot of of time over the last couple of hours. Originally, it looked like it was going to just stay kind of cozied into the southwest, possibly getting into south central. Well, as we head into later this evening, we're going to see it basically cover many parts of southern Saskatchewan. Maple Creek, Swift Current, Regina, Moose Jaw, Weyburn, Estevan. Even as the night goes on, we'll see it come through the Assiniboia area as well. That system is expected to clear for many parts just after midnight, but certainly by early tomorrow morning, much of that system will have cleared out, leaving us with what you see there starting your Saturday morning with a little bit of snow still expected in the southwest there. But for most of southern Saskatchewan, mostly cloudy conditions. And later into the day, we will start to see a lot of that cloud cover clear out too, leaving us with mainly clear conditions. And then by the time we get into Saturday night into Sunday morning, that's where we'll see more of that cloud cover rolling through, starting in the west. And eventually, as the day goes on Sunday, we'll see that cloud cover making its way into the east by Sunday evening, covering most of central and eastern Saskatchewan. And as we head into Monday, we'll just see a mix of sun and cloud. But really, the only expected snow right now is just what we're expecting tonight. So again, this model has been changing throughout the day as well. It was kind of going up and down in terms of what we could expect, especially in the southeast. So really, most of southern Saskatchewan will see up to about 5-6 for Estevan, but around the 5-centimeter mark for snowfall. What I meant to say was that there will be a range between 3 to 5 centimeters of snow. Tonight, this evening, we'll see most of that snow, about 1 to 3 centimeters of snow, and then in the overnight could see another 1 to 2 centimeters of snow before that system completely clears out. Temperatures, though, still cooler than our average. Daytime high about 2 to 3 degrees. We're going to be below zero into tomorrow as well, even into northern Saskatchewan. -6 for many parts of the north, including Lloydminster, expecting to see snow tonight and tomorrow. -7 for Prince Albert with a mix of sun and cloud, and cloudy for North Battleford, -6, mostly cloudy, and -7 for Saskatoon, -6 for Yorkton, and a little warmer, 3 degrees for Maple Creek, -3 for Swift Current, -5 for Moose Jaw in the southeast, seeing similar temperatures just below zero, including Regina, -6 tomorrow. Tonight, again, we're expecting a little bit of that snow with -10 as the expected low. And here's a look at your next 7 days. -6 in mainly sunny tomorrow, -4 mainly sunny Sunday, and then we'll see those temperatures bump back above zero. 8 on Monday, 6 on Tuesday, 4 and windy on Wednesday, 5 degrees on Thursday, and 3 degrees Friday. Could also expect some high winds on Tuesday, which is Remembrance Day. I know many like to go to the service outdoors there as well. Still expecting to see above zero temperatures, but for game day on Saturday, tomorrow, kickoff at 5:30, -8, feeling with a wind chill about -14. -9 in the second quarter with a wind chill about -15 and about -16 wind chill by second half. So make sure you layer up. Still going to be a great game. There isn't precipitation expected. Oh, that's my cue. So it's still expecting, like I said, it'll be a cooler night for some football tomorrow, but if you layer up, I know the crowd's going to keep everyone warm with all the cheering happening at Mosaic.
It's going to be a chilly night, but hey, it might be a really great end or the other.
It's going to be a great end.
All right. Thank you, Sabine.
You bet.
Well, the study of sharks in maritime waters has taken a bit of a step forward. Scientists now have used a new, non-invasive method to track great white sharks. CTV's Jonathan McInnes has the story.
For the first time in Canadian waters, Neil Hammerschlag has successfully tagged a free-swimming great white shark with a satellite tracking device.
What we're trying to do is study the natural behavior of sharks, try to be least invasive as possible, try to not stress the sharks out at all.
Traditionally, sharks had to be captured before a monitor could be mounted on their dorsal fin.
So this was actually the first shark we tagged.
In total, Hammerschlag and his crew have tagged 6 great whites in Nova Scotian waters.
We're really trying to understand the population status of these sharks and monitor their population status over time. But we also want to know, in areas where they're occurring here in Nova Scotia, what they're doing, why they're here, what's significant about Nova Scotian waters to these sharks.
The tag is already proving valuable. Hammerschlag says until now it was believed sharks wandered the waters, but the device is sending back interesting information.
And they're highly mobile, not really aggregating anywhere, but the place that we tagged it, which was off of southwest Nova Scotia, some of these offshore islands, the shark has shown extreme high residency there. It's spending a lot of time reusing this area, pointing to the spot as a critical habitat.
All this is important data for shark researchers.
There's not many places in the world left where you can actually go out and see great white sharks or that are great white shark hotspots. Really, you're thinking now Australia, New Zealand, and now Nova Scotia.
The tags that are mounted on the shark's fins aren't permanent and will fall off in a few weeks. These sharks tend to be here from summer until late fall. Neil Hammerschlag says many will come back to what's becoming very important habitat for great white sharks. Jonathan McGinnis, CTV News, Halifax.
Coming up, one more day before the Riders and Lions tangle at Mosaic Stadium for a berth to the Grey Cup.
Wardrobe consideration in part by Colin O'Brien Men's Shop.
Some injury updates for the West Final. Saskatchewan will be without a key member of the receiving corps as Keyshawn Johnson was left off the roster due to a knee injury.
Ultimately, we had Joe Robustelli, who's healthy, you know what I mean? And for us, I understand the lure of it, but, we want to put together the best team that we feel gives us the option to win this game. And Keyshawn, while he's close, he's just not quite close enough.
Johnson, one of 2 Rough Rider receivers to reach 1,000 yards receiving this season, including Dante Myers. Johnson left Saskatchewan's game against the Argos on that hit and has not played since. Well, despite some lingering injuries, the Rough Riders treating this game like any other. And as Donovan Mace reports, the team is confident a slew of experience in big games is the key to becoming the best in the West.
Trevor Harris is done talking about the BC Lions quarterback.
I'm not here to talk about Nathan Rourke. I think it's our time.
Led by Harris, it's our time has been the mantra for the Saskatchewan Roughriders this season, as the quarterback believes this team is ready to make a run for a Grey Cup.
We have guys that the moment's not going to be too big for them, and we've seen it all year. What gives me confidence in those moments is just the guys we have in our room.
30 seconds left. Now, last year, Saskatchewan's season came to a halt in the West Final at the hands of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Late for the Riders as their season will end with a touchdown.
The way I think we attacked it last year is everybody was geeked up and, storm the castle kind of vibe. We're just operating business as usual for us, which I think is a good thing.
A year older and closer as a team with greater expectations, the Riders believe they are more comfortable in who they are.
Last year, we still didn't have the culture that we wanted. We had a good culture, but not the one we wanted. So it was just like go in there like savages, and now we have the culture we want.
The change is that we're at home. It's a huge advantage to play a home playoff game in front of your fans. When we play here, what it means to not just us but everybody in this province.
With the memory of what could have been in the back of their minds.
BC's coming here, and it should be a heavyweight tilt tomorrow. It's going to be fun.
As a team, I just think having that experience for us last year, I think bodes well going second time around.
And hopeful when the clock strikes 0 Saturday, a trip to Winnipeg is in line. Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
And Riders wearing those retro jerseys that I know a lot of fans love to see. Saskatchewan's 2 university football teams getting ready to face off this weekend as well for the 88th Hardy Cup. 7-1 U of S Huskies have the advantage of playing at Griffith Stadium for the Canada West Championship. The visiting U of R Rams, who finished 6-2, lost their only meeting against the Huskies this season. But of course, they did win the Hardy Cup last year in Saskatoon, 19-14. With snow on the ground, weather conditions could be a factor in this game. Both coaches prepared, and they're excited for it.
I think we should play every year, twice a year, just being rivals and being so close. But yeah, we're excited. It's been a while. It's been week 4. It was nice that we did get to play up here for a lot of our first-year guys who've never been up to Griffith Stadium. So yeah, it's long overdue, and we're just excited for an opportunity to compete against one of the best teams in the country.
This is going to be the most physical game of the year. I can guarantee you that. It just will be. They're going to be structurally sound, well-coached, all that stuff. So top of mind for me is just making sure that we know what we're doing, that we're in our spots, and we're as coaches putting them in positions to succeed.
Very complimentary of each other. Kickoff 2 p.m. Saturday at Griffith Stadium. And WHL tonight, Regina Pats welcome the Red Deer Rebels to the Brandt Center.
Below the Calgary net, down low, centered, Fawcett, Wade's backhander, scores!
Pats Cats coming off an overtime win versus Calgary and have won 5 of their last 8 games. Keats Fawcett has led the way with 4 goals in his last 3. Puck drop is 7 o'clock here. Also, Moose Jaw, they're going to travel to Saskatoon. Lyndon Lakovic has 13 points in his last 8 games for the Moose Jaw Warriors. And Swift Current welcomes Calgary to the Innovation Plex. It'll be the Broncos' second game with assistant coach Regan Darby running things after head coach Dean Da Silva suspended for an on-ice practice incident. Still ahead, some of the best PBR competitors are in Yorkton this weekend.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at what your rural forecast will be looking like heading into tomorrow. All below seasonal temperatures, and this is not with the wind chill. So, of course, feeling probably at least 4 or 5 degrees cooler than what you're seeing on the boards here. And some areas expecting to see sun, while others along the west will see a little bit more cloud cover there. -5 for Lloydminster, cloudy. -3 for Kindersley. -5 and cloudy for Outlook as well. But -7 for Spiritwood, Melfort with a mix of sun and cloud. Mostly cloudy, and -7 for Watrous. -5, a mix of sun and cloud for Hudson Bay, and Wynyard -6 as well with a mix of sun and cloud. Closer to the southern border, little cooler but above 0 temperatures expected for the southwest. Maple Creek and East End Cypress, 3 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud, but over in the southeast, mix of sun and cloud, -5 for Carlisle, -6 for Broadview and Kenora. Mainly sunny for Lumsden, Pilot Butte, -6 as well. If we take a closer look at Hague, located about 50 kilometers north of Saskatoon, also where internet speeds up to 1 gig available through SaskTel, -9. A mix of sun and cloud. As of right now, no precipitation in the form of snow or rain expected tonight into tomorrow for Hague. -9, feeling like -12, but the evening, -19, feeling like -26. I'm sorry.
She's not. Bull riders in Yorkton are ready to spend the toughest 8 seconds on dirt. Regina DeClute reports from the Westland Insurance Arena, where preparations are underway for the PBR event.
The Westland Arena was quiet on Friday, a stark contrast to what's coming later.
Just hours away from this building being jam-packed with people and just a high-energy, great show with PBR.
The event promises pyro, good music, and of course, some of the best bull riders in the country.
We're so fortunate to have this caliber of a professional bull riding event come to Yorkton. It is such a great production and high energy, and by ticket sales, people just love the thrilling adventure that bull riding brings.
The PBR organizers said the Gallagher Center is a first-rate venue, but the biggest challenge is what's outside.
The weather, well, it's always a bit of a challenge in Yorkton, but our team is working through it. We're almost ready.
The lineup is strong.
A bunch of ranked bucking bulls from, 5 to 6 of our country's top firms bringing in their A-pen. It's a battle to find that champion bull rider, and it all kicks off tonight at 7.
But who rides these giant animals?
Actually, the top 1 and 2 bull riders in the nation right now, Jared Parsonage and Dakota Butter, are both Saskatchewan athletes, born and raised. So they're veterans of the game, and they've been at the top of the game for a lot of years.
The Yorkton PBR is the final stop for the 2025 PBR Canada season.
The goal for these bull riders is a national title. So the national champion will leave Edmonton, Alberta at Rogers Place in 1 week time with a $100,000 bonus.
After the rodeo ends, a barn dance will wrap the 2025 Harvest Showdown. Regina DeClute, CTV News, Yorkton.
Saskatchewan government says 40 of the 109 acute care beds planned for Saskatoon City Hospital are now open. Government leaders and healthcare workers gathered for the announcement. 40 beds that are operational are caring for patients on the 6th floor of that hospital. The province says one fully implemented, the expansion will increase overall capacity by 14%, helping emergency departments become more efficient and reducing wait times. The announcement includes 22 acute rehabilitation beds, 12 acquired brain injury beds, 60 for general medicine, 15 high acuity beds for the addition support services like pharmacy and laboratory.
Having 40 acute care beds out of the total of 109 new beds open and operational is something that we're very excited about. The SHA acknowledges that the hospital capacity pressures create a difficult environment for our patients who are seeking care in our emergency departments.
Outpatient and continuing care services will transition to other settings to make room for the new acute care units. Stocks, both on the way up. TSX by 43 points, the Dow Jones by 74 points. As for that Canadian dollar, it went up almost, well, a little more than 0.4 cents to 71.27 cents US. Commodities, gold up $24.05. West Texas Intermediate crude up 32 cents, while Western Canadian Select crude dropped another 27 cents. Gas here in the city of Regina found mostly for $1.28.9 per liter.
Economists had expected a job loss for October. The gain was big enough to push down Canada's unemployment rate. It now sits at 6.9%. The gain of 67,000 jobs follows September's gain of 60,000 positions. Part-time jobs drove growth in October. Ontario gained 55,000 jobs last month. Quebec, 11,000. Employment was down in Nova Scotia and Manitoba. In a new Nano survey, 1 in 5 Canadians admits to not paying a bill to be able to afford groceries. Adults under 55 years old were 4 times more likely to do it. They put off payments on cars, credit cards, and even electricity bills. Honda reported earnings today, announcing a 37% slip in profit for the first half of the year. The Japanese automaker being hurt by American tariffs and says an unfavorable currency rate also hit hard. However, Honda is recording record sales in motorcycles. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
Coming up tonight after the newscast, Celebrity Wheel of Fortune brought to you then. We got Special Forces, World Toughest Test, Boston Blue, Happy's Place, E-Talk, and many more. Excitement building for the 2026 Winter Games in Italy, and we now know what Team Canada's hockey teams will be wearing on the ice.
That's right. These are the Olympic jerseys for next year. Designers at Bowers say the maple leaf crest is based on an unbreakable diamond. The Milano Cortina Games take place in February and will be the first Olympics since 2014 where NHL players are allowed to participate.
Don't know if I'm a fan. I'm sure they'll be gobbled up. Added a Gremlins 3 schedule. I'm too excited. Gremlins 3 has been added to the release schedule for Warner Brothers. It will see Steven Spielberg return as executive producer while Chris Columbus will direct. Plot description and who will star in the film has not been disclosed. The first film back in 1984. The sequel in 1990 was terrible. Gremlins 3 will hit theaters November 2027.
This is
pretty excited about that.
Yeah, I could tell.
Yeah.
After checking into last night's game for the Florida Gators, Canadian Olivier Rioux became the tallest person to ever play college basketball.
7'9". The center from Quebec checked into the game with his team up 40 points following chants from the crowd of "We Want Ollie." Florida's coach made it clear that Rioux will only play late in blowouts because of the team's stacked roster. So there you go.
7'9".
7'9". What are you, 5'0"?
4'11.5".
Okay, well, let's take a look.
Okay.
So that's like an extra 2 and 10, so this much taller than you.
That's nothing. You knew you were going to do this, didn't you?
I just happened to have one of those in my pocket.
Well, here we go.
Anyway, Riders, Lions, who will go to the Grey Cup?
Go Riders!
We'll find out next time we see you.